Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any other videos that I have posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Recently, a friend asked me, why did you develop the spot seasoning method for the wok? Well, I must admit, it is entirely due to my laziness. Because when I first started to cook, I used a carbon steel wok with a natural surface. And I used to season it in the way as how it's described by the manufacturer. Now, this is a video demonstrating how you would season a carbon steel wok. It's by one of the manufacturer, which is well known for making carbon steel wok. Now, in this method, how the method is carried out is by, first of all, you heat up the wok. And then you use some oil, and the intention is that you should put the oil all over the surface of the wok until it starts to smoke. And you repeat this several times, and you cool it down, and you put some more oil in it, and until to the point that the entire wok starts to turn into this black color. Now, I also did the outside of the wok as well. And now in retrospect, I look at it and I said, why do I need to do the outside of the wok? What is the purpose for that? And I guess the whole idea is that you will burn the oil into the wok. And the end result is that, first of all, it will protect the wok from rusting. But more importantly, that it will create a non-stick cook surface for this wok so that food will not stick. And then you wash the wok and then after you dry the wok, you are ready to use it. But after each time when you use, you rinse the wok and then you coat it with a thin layer of oil to prevent it from rusting. And of course, you should never wash it with soap. Now, this method is actually quite tedious. And I discovered that, in fact, you really do not need to go through all of this in order to season your wok. Now, the best way to decide whether the wok is well seasoned or not is to fry an egg in it. As you can see here, this is a brand new wok, and I have cleaned it, and I make sure that I clean off all the residues that usually come for protecting the wok. And I put in a small amount of oil. Now, you notice that the key thing I did is that I let the oil to heat up so that it will smoke very gently. As you can see here, the whiffs of smoke that are coming up, and it doesn't have to be smoked very intensely at all. And the next thing is that I'm going to test it by frying an egg in it. Now, as you notice that this method is very different from the method which I showed you earlier, which recommended by the manufacturer. In that particular case, you really need to create this so-called patina layer, this kind of a brown coloration over the entire surface of the wok. And at the time I thought, why is it necessary? Because you only fry in the bottom of the wok. And can I just use this method by simply only heat up the bottom of the wok and let the oil to smoke? Because we know when the oil smokes, it will season the wok. Now, after I tried this method, I said, well, maybe a different wok. This is a wok that I have been using all along. But as you can see, it's very clean because I wash it with soap. In fact, I scrubbed it with scrubbing agent to remove all the debris on the surface of the wok. Because I want to try, see if I remove all the so-called patina layer, will I still able to create a non-stick cook surface? So I did repeat the same process again. My thinking is that I want to save time. I do not want to spend time to reseason the wok each time if my wok is not perform appropriately and food start to stick and burn. So again, I use the same method. I put a little bit of cooking oil and I let the oil to smoke. Again, the smoking of the oil provide an indication that the wok is being seasoned. So I let the oil to smoke for about not very long, maybe about 15 to 20 seconds. And then I put an egg into the wok. Again, I decided that this may be one way for me to show that a wok that has been used, and in this case a wok that has basically restored such a way, because this wok, when I first get it, it was kind of really rusty. I haven't using this wok for a long time, and this is why I scrub everything down, I remove all the rust, and so that now I basically have a clean wok to start out. Now, as you notice that even though I put in a very small amount of oil and only let it smoke for about 15 to 20 seconds, the wok now has no problem. The egg does not stick at all. Now, if I have not done that, I can guarantee you that the egg will stick and burn to the surface of the wok. So as you can see in here, all we need to do is to, in this case, season the bottom of the wok using this method. And why it is necessary to cover the entire surface of the wok with cooking oil and then have it to smoke repeatedly. Now, it turned out that this method actually has been well established, particularly using for cast iron cookware, like a cast iron skillet. Now, of course, the cast iron skillet has a flat surface, and actually it's a good reason that you want to cover the cast iron flat bottom with oil as much as possible. Now, in here, this example is a different one. Now, this is a different kind of material, which again, I want to demonstrate the applicability of this method. This is what is referred to as a light cast iron wok. It's very similar to cast iron, but it is lighter. Its property has shared many of them with the cast iron. It has excellent heat conduction. Now again, this wok, again, I have cleaned it to such a way I remove all the black coloration on the side of the wok comes originally with the wok. This is kind of some sort of a vegetable oil resin. They call it pre-seasoned. But after you use it for a while, it came off and the wok start to stick again. So what I did is that I clean off all the black material, which is kind of unsightly, and then now I'm going to test it again, use this method. I put the oil in, I let it smoke for about 15 to 20 seconds. I'm going to test it with an egg. I did not go through that extensive procedure as shown earlier with the cast iron wok. Again, you can see that this method worked really well. Even though this light cast iron wok has not been used for a long time, I have no problem, and it seasoned the wok really well, and I can move the egg without any issues at all. So the question is that why this method work? And the answer actually is quite simple. The way how a wok is being seasoned, a wok with natural surface, this has to be wok that with irons in it, is due to the formation of polymers of the oil on the surface of the wok. And this polymer formation is results from when the oil are being heated to the temperature close to its or probably right around its smoking point. The smoking point of oil is the temperature when the oil start to break down. And in this case, you can see the oil film that are being generated. And this happens all the time when you do any sort of frying. This will occur. So controlling your temperature is very important if you want to minimize the formation of this oil film, which is not the best thing around. And so you have to be very careful. But this is an important step for the wok being seasoned. And this method actually has been used for centuries. And how to create a non-stick cook surface is based on this simple scientific theory. Now, here actually is a cast iron wok. Now, this is very similar to a cast iron skillet, other than the fact that it is a wok. Again, I'm going to using the same method to demonstrate how this method actually work. As you can see, I do not need that much oil at all. And all I need to do is a tiny amount of oil to cover the bottom surface of the wok. Again, the important thing is that I let the oil to smoke gently. And this is really important because this is a step when the oil start to form polymer that will cover the surface of the wok and to provide it with a barrier between the raw metal and the food. And because the foods do not stick to this polymer, so it will not get burned. And this is really the foundation of how we create a non-stick cook surface. Now, in the case of a non-stick cookware, they use chemicals that basically function essentially the same way. The main difference is that in this case, this chemical is bound permanently to the surface of the wok. And of course, the most famous of this chemical is Teflon, and there are many other type of chemical can behave in a similar manner. So this is the new method which come around in about the 1950s, and in the 1960s, non-stick cookware become extraordinarily popular. Everybody start to using non-stick cookware. And in fact, when I first started do stir frying, I used non-stick wok because I cannot find any wok with natural surface relatively easily. However, when you cook with wok with non-stick coating, the problem is that first and foremost is that the temperature when you do stir fry tend to be relatively high. And for non-stick cookware, they give you the recommendations that you should not heat the cookware at a temperature about 450 to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. But in the case of stir frying, this always exceeds that temperature. So the end result is that those non-stick coating do not last. So now the people are gradually returning back to use wok without non-stick coating because first of all, it is more durable, and secondly, and which most of us probably will agree, it's probably safer not to have the non-stick coating to peel off and enter into your food. Now, there's a tremendous advantage of my spot seasoning method. Now, here's a demonstration of using a stainless steel wok. Now, the spot seasoning are particularly valuable for stainless steel because stainless steel do not hang on to the seasoning. Each time when you wash it, even if you wash it with water, you will wash it off. And because of this reason, that a lot of people do not like to use stainless steel wok, simply because it's that each time you have to season it. But most of the time, I discovered that the spot seasoning method for stainless steel works exactly the same as all the other wok materials. Here is a demonstration that I'm going to fry an egg in it. The end result is that when you use this method, you can actually spot season your stainless steel wok each time before you cook. And because it only takes about 15 seconds. And then the important thing to keep in mind is that when you do seasoning your wok, you don't have to generate a lot of oil film. As long as the oil start to see a slight trace of oil film production, you can turn down the heat. And because the polymer production actually occur right at the temperature of the smoking point of the oil. So in this case, even a very slight oil film generation will really do the job for create a non-stick surface in your wok. So as you can see in here, because of my unwillingness or my laziness of not to go through the whole process of seasoning and go through the elaborate steps as I shown in the beginning, I developed this method, and it turned out that it's really valuable because now I can season my wok each time before I start to cook. And since I can season anytime I want right before I start to cook, I call this spot seasoning because I can season the wok right on the spot. Okay, I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine so that you can avoid fast and ultra-processed food. And when you use my fast cooking system, you will find home cooking to be practical, efficient, creative, and fun. If you'd like to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.